Have you ever been unfaithful? And I don't mean just cheat once, but really be unfaithful, completely unfaithful. Like betray your own morals, values, principles, beliefs, maybe even your own self-respect. Well, this is my story. I am a 36-year-old woman living in a small city. My husband is 40 and we have 2 beautiful kids together. He's a great man, hardworking, honest, reliable, caring, faithful, loving. We got married young, and I was the lucky one. I knew I had found the right man, and I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him. I never took him for granted, and I always tried to show him how much I appreciated him, not only with words, but also with actions. Fast forward to now, and I can honestly say that things have changed. Not between me and my husband, no. Our relationship has always been steady and strong, but within myself. I feel like I have changed as a person over the years. I have become more selfish, more superficial, more materialistic, more full of myself. I know it sounds terrible, and it is. I am ashamed of who I have become. I don't know what happened. I used to be humble, kind, compassionate, generous, empathetic, authentic, but now I am none of those things. You see, over the past few years, I have felt increasingly unhappy, unsatisfied, and unfulfilled. I don't know why, but I just couldn't shake this feeling off. It was like a dark cloud hanging over me all the time, following me everywhere, day or night. Nothing could lift it up, but nothing could chase it away. I tried everything I could think of, like buying new clothes, shoes, bags, jewelry, you name it. I went on a shopping spree and spent thousands of dollars. But once the excitement wore off, I still felt the same. Even tried changing my looks, getting a makeover, doing cosmetic procedures. But it didn't help either. I looked different, but I still felt the same inside. I also tried talking to my husband about how I felt. I thought maybe he could help me find the answer. Maybe he could fix it. But I was wrong. He was as confused as I was. He said he didn't know what was wrong with me, but he promised to stay by my side and support me no matter what. That made me feel guilty, but also angry. Why did he get to be happy while I wasn't? Why did he get to enjoy our life together while I was wasting it away? I started resenting him for his happiness, for his stability, for his normalcy. I wanted to be like him again, but I couldn't. I felt like I was broken beyond repair. One day I decided to see a therapist. I thought maybe she could help me dig deeper into my mind and find the root cause of my problems. I thought maybe she could help me heal from whatever trauma I had experienced that was blocking me from being happy. But I was wrong again. She couldn't offer any insight or solution. She just gave me a diagnosis. She said I had clinical depression and prescribed me medication. I took the pills every day, but they didn't make me feel any better. They made me feel worse. I felt groggy, tired, emotionless. I stopped taking them after a week. I didn't want to be a zombie. I wanted to feel something, anything. But the more I tried, the more I struggled, the more I suffered. One night I was browsing social media and came across a video about a mysterious man named Alex. He was a self-help guru who claimed to have the power to transform people's lives. He claimed to be able to fix their problems with just a few simple techniques. He claimed to be able to unlock their potential and help them achieve their goals. I was skeptical, but desperate, so I decided to give it a try. I messaged him and he replied instantly. He asked me for some personal details and I gave them to him. He told me that he could sense my pain and suffering and that he wanted to help me. He said he could meet me in person and guide me through a special ritual that would heal my wounds and set me free. I hesitated, but then agreed. The next day he arrived at my city and we met at a secluded cabin in the woods. He was tall, handsome, charming, mysterious. He had a deep voice, piercing eyes, a confident smile. I felt drawn to him immediately. He told me that he was here to help me and that I had nothing to lose by trying his method. He told me that I had to trust him and follow his instructions to the letter. I trusted him and followed him. He led me into a room with candles, flowers, incense. I sat down on a chair and he started chanting words I didn't understand. And he touched my body and I felt a surge of energy flowing through me. It was like a shock, but a pleasant one. I closed my eyes and relaxed. When I opened them again, I saw Alex staring at me intensely. He leaned in and kissed me passionately. I responded instinctively and we made love. I felt a rush of pleasure, but also guilt and shame. I knew I was betraying my husband, but I couldn't stop myself. I wanted more of Alex's touch, more of his love, more of his attention. After we finished, he told me that I had to keep our meeting a secret and not tell anyone what had happened. He said that if my husband found out, he would lose his powers and I would lose my healing. I understood and promised to keep it a secret. I knew I couldn't tell anyone. I couldn't risk exposing Alex or losing his help. I had found someone who understood me, who cared about me, who wanted me. I didn't want to lose him. We kept seeing each other in secret for weeks. I traveled to his city, and he came to mine. We met in hotels, cabins, restaurants, anywhere we could be alone without being seen. I was head over heels in love with him. I never felt this way about my husband. Never felt this connected, this passionate, this fulfilled. I was obsessed with Alex. I wanted to be with him all the time. I wanted to learn more from him, know more about him, do more with him. I was addicted to him. One day he told me that he had to leave town for a while, and that I would unhear from him for a few days. I understood and respected his privacy, but I couldn't help but miss him every day. I counted down the hours until he'd be back, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I tried calling him, but his phone went straight to voicemail. I tried texting him, but he never replied. I tried visiting his home, but no one answered the door. I was worried, confused, desperate. I needed to see him. I needed to hear his voice, his touch, his smell. I needed him. That's when I found his journal. It was lying on a table in his apartment, and it was unlocked. I opened it and started reading his entries. At first I couldn't understand the words. They were foreign to me, they were ancient. But then I realized that they weren't words, they were symbols. I didn't know what they meant, but I knew they held a powerful message. I felt drawn to them. I wanted to decipher their meaning. I wanted to unlock their secrets. I wanted to discover their power. Suddenly, a knock on the door interrupted my thoughts. It was loud, urgent, insistent. I jumped and closed the journal quickly. I didn't know who was out there, but I was afraid to find out. I hid the journal under a pillow and waited for whoever it was to go away. But they didn't. They kept knocking louder and longer, demanding to be let in. I panicked and ran to the window. Had to escape, flee, hide. But before I could do anything, the door burst open and a police officer stood in the doorway. "Ma'am," he said, "we need to talk about Alex." And I knew in that moment that everything was about to change forever. Have you ever been unfaithful? I don't mean just cheat once, but really be unfaithful. Completely unfaithful. Like betray your own morals, values, principles, beliefs, maybe even your own self-respect. Leave your answer in the comments below. If you want to hear more stories like mine, please follow for more updates. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.